Hello, 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 my stampers. Ooh, it's a little warm in the here, and I still got my sweater on from today. Thank you guys for joining me for a little late night Stampin' on the Fly. Hello, 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 my stampers. Ooh, it's a little warm in the here, and I still got my sweater on from today. Yes, I am totally excited to join you guys tonight, or to be with you guys here tonight. And we're going to do a little bit something different. And by different, I mean, we missed Case the Caddy on Friday, or on last Thursday. So we're going to do a little Case the Caddy, and then we're just going to stamp on the fly. So I'm only going to do one of the cards from the Casing of the Caddy. And we are casing Vintage Christmas from the catalog. And it is page 63 of the mini catalog. And we are going to focus on this image right here. And y'all, I forgot to go grab my stamp. What the hey? How am I going to go live and not bring my stamp? Give me 1 second. Let me go grab that. Oh, yes. I'm totally excited about tonight. Are you guys excited about tonight? I feel like I haven't stamped in a long time. Not true, but I just feel that way, right? So we are going to go ahead and get started because we got a lot that we want to cover tonight. Give me 1 second, you guys. Let me go ahead and share the video so that maybe we can have some folks come and join us. Excuse me. Ooh. It's been a long day. Do you know when you've planned on something and folks just don't do what they say they're going to do? It's so frustrating. Do you not find that frustrating? All right. So let me go ahead and share this video, and you guys promise I'll try to make it very quick. Almost done sharing. Give me 1 more second. I need to share a couple more places, and then we'll be ready to go. Okay. But I'm excited to get stamping with you guys tonight and do what we got to do. I think I have enough Christmas cards for the holidays, but you guys, you never have enough Christmas cards. And besides, it's the season of giving. So if you have enough cards, all you need to do, of course, is to go ahead and take a couple of the cards with you, and you give them out to your bagger at the grocery store. You give a couple to your nail salon, your barber shop, wherever it is you're going to do them. But give out a little bit of holiday cheer when you give a handmade card. So make a little extra. Don't make just enough for the people on your Christmas list. Make a little extra just to brighten up somebody's day. Okay. All right. So give me 1 more second. All right. Live on YouTube. Come join me. Boom. All right, let me get all of this done, and then you guys, we can go ahead and get started. Whew, if y'all looked at my earlier post, you will see that a hurricane hit my house, pretty much not my house, my craft room earlier today, and I had made an order at Stampin' Storage for, they have the new all-in-one, they're all-in-one ink, stamp pad, blends, marker, and alcohol refill holders. And of course, I went ahead and got them. So anyway, so I decided as I got it to go ahead and to just totally change up everything that I had on my workspace. And so of course, everything was just a colossal mess at the end. So now we're just going to spend some time trying to get it back into some semblance of order. But anyway, you didn't come to hear me chat about that. You came to see us make some cards. So this is the first card, but this is the card we're going to make for today, featuring the Vintage Christmas stamp set. Is item number 159781 in the catalog. It is a photopolymer stamp set, and there's 9 set stamps in the set, and it's a $16 set. What's most beautiful with this is that this coordinates with the jar punch, or the bottle punch, I should say, because it's not a jar. And this coordinates with the Bottled Happiness stamp set that's in the annual catalog on page 151. So we're going to get to play with that a little bit later as we create some other cards. But for tonight, we're only going to make this one right here. And let's get started. I am going to, the pieces and parts that I'm going to use tonight in my card is, I'm going to go Pure Pizzazz, I think. Let me see, was it Pear Pizzazz or Old Olive? I can't remember. Yeah, I went Pear Pizzazz on my card base, and we're gonna just need a piece of basic white, and we're going to use some ribbon. Okay, so let's get started. My card base is, of course, an A2 card base that is 8.5 by 4 1/4 scored at, I'm sorry, 8.5, 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. And my card base eventually is going to be cut down to an eighth by an eighth of an inch. But as of right now, we have a piece of cardstock, oops, that is 5.5. So this is 4 1/4 by 5.5. And we'll trim this down to what we need as we get going, okay? Let's grab the stamps. What I love about this set is that, well, not this set. This is a form of, what do we want to call it? Of creating your own designer series paper. Normally what we've been doing these days is going by using a full sheet. We're just gonna create on a quarter sheet for today. Now, because I'm using photopolymer stamps, I'm going to bring out my Stampin' mat, grab off my little adhesive here, and then we're just gonna line this guy up. Like so, and now we're ready to stamp. Now, as you can tell from my stamp set, I have not used this guy at all. So this is going to be something that's new use for me. All right. I see a lot of, and we're probably going to make some poetic licenses with this as well. Y'all, I'm always taking license with stuff just because sometimes I just really want things to be mine, even though I am casing. And I know I haven't used this stamp set at all, so we're going to have to condition this stamp. And I'm going to assume I'm going to go in with Sweet Sorbet. That looks kind of like the color that we're using. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going to use that. Let me take this off because I'm going to do a little bit off stamping. And by that, I just mean that part of my project will be off, and I don't want to mess up my little sticky mat. So trying to find, okay, let's grab a sheet of paper, and then we can go ahead and put this on here so that when we stamp off of the mat, we're not messing up our little sticky paper, okay? All right, so here we go. All right. I'm gonna stamp on here because I don't know how vivid that's going. Oh, that's not bad. So we're gonna do some full strength and some Stampin' Off on both of them. So we have some that's full strength, and then we'll stamp off. All right. And don't be afraid to, when you're stamping, kind of stamp off in the same area so you have a little bit of shadows in your work. I mean, there's no right way and there's no wrong way, just because we're gonna go back in with the leaves to fill some space. Oops, gotta go full strength, and might even do one of these as a 3rd generation stamp set, that stamping. Okay, then I'm gonna go in with old olive. Even though I am using Pear Pizzazz, my leaves are gonna be old olive. Let me just clean this off. Take out my little scrub. Now, because this is red, this is pretty much going to stay stained because mostly red will stain your photopolymer stamp set. It just will. Tell you, when I first started stamping, that drove me absolutely nuts. I'm like, I don't want it. Actually, when I first started stamping, y'all, I had some duplicate stamps because I'm like, no, it's not supposed to look like that. Of course it was, but hey, it is what it is. All right. So let's get this on here. Okay. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to do a couple of test stamping just to see what will look like. Oh, perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. And I don't know if you see it here, the little bumps and curves in the set. So we're going to try to line this up. Oh, just like this. Oops. I'm going to try to line it up. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. Trying to make sure. Full strength. Then we're going to stamp off like so. Full strength. And right now I'm not even lining it up. You can see that I'm not. I'm just getting ink on paper. Making sure we have some leaves everywhere. Let's Go full strength here. Though it's coming off the paper. And one more down here, like so. And then we've got a couple other images that we're just going to pull out again, just for some more dimension and interest in our card. I think for my hollyberry ones, I'm going to go in with evening evergreen. I'm going to change up my green. I probably should do a brown. I could do a brown, right? A little fern. I think I am going to do a brown. And for my brown, I'm going to go with crumb cake. All right, so the colors I've used again are sweet sorbet, old olive, and crumb cake is what I'm going to use next. I'm going to just use the smaller image to fill in. Let's see. Yeah, that's perfect. Fill in some spaces like so. And again, don't forget you can do some second generation stamping. Now, if you see from the picture in the catalog, some of these berries are colored in. So you might not want to focus so much on the center of the card, because that's going to be covered up with the and I'm just making sure that I have some of everything everywhere. So like I don't have anything here. Fill that in. Too much white space in here. Let's fill that in. Too much white space in here for me. So let's fill that in. Right here. Fill that in. And ooh, this corner down here seems a little naked. Don't it seem a little naked? Okay, so that's what we're going to do with that. So pretty much you guys, except for our sentiment, we're almost done with creating this card. Okay, so we're going to put this aside for now. And then we are going to grab, what did I do with it? We are going to grab Christmas banners. And we're going to use this banner and Merry and Christmas. Actually, we're going to change it up and just, nope. We're gonna leave it at Merry Christmas. So, and this set, of course, is a photopolymer set. It is in the mini catalog. It is one of the suites. There's 18 dies in here. It's item number 159570. And it has coordinating dies with it, which we are going to be using tonight, the coordinating die. So let's grab that out. We're going to be using this one right here. Okay. And we're going to need this set, this stamp set, the big one. And we're going to need our Merry and Christmas. Okay. So we're going to put Merry Christmas on here. One of our small blocks. You guys, I have a lot of this Stampin' Up! Blocks, but I really just have started going back and actually using my blocks when I'm stamping, and really paying attention to sizing of my blocks. By that I mean just making sure that I use appropriate sizes for things. Okay. Marry this guy right here. And you might be asking, why do I put washi tape on my blocks? Well, sometimes when I go to other things, everybody may have the same products, especially when I go to Stampin' Up! Events or classes. Everybody kind of has the same items. And so just to make sure that I know what is mine and what is theirs, and nobody walks away with anybody's things kind of deal. But it's just a way of identifying my things, that's all. All right. Now this is heat embossed, the banner. I could see that. And so I'm going to grab my Versamark ink. I'm going to grab another piece of cardstock that I'm going to use. When you have things and it's just challenging to find them. I mean, they're right in front of me, so I'm not sure why I'm having a difficult time finding them, but hey, 'tis what it is. So I'm going to grab a piece of cardstock, and I think I'm going to cut off maybe a 2-inch piece that I'm going to use my Versamark, and I'm going to get the gold embossing powder. My heat tool is always close by. All righty, so move things out of the way. Again, I'm still trying to get better at when I'm done with something, putting it away. The only way I'm going to try to stay somewhat organized when I'm crafting, right? So I'm going to trim. At least that's what I want to do, but that's not necessarily what I'm going to do it, right? All right. I think a 2-inch piece would be perfect. That's probably more than enough. So I'm going to go 2.5 just to be on the safe side. And I'm just going to prime this stamp just a little bit. Okay. And my Versamark, ink it up with the Versamark. I went to on stage and I got so busy. I haven't finished unpacking. And I was only gone for I left on Friday evening. And so there we go, just stamp this on here. I really was gone for 2 nights. What could I have packed, right? For a 2-night trip? Man, you don't want to know. All right. So does everybody have plans for Thanksgiving? I do. My plans kind of came about at the last minute. Let's take this off. I don't want when I'm trying to remove it, it kicks up a storm. Oh, let's put this back because Merry and Christmas are, well, let's do that one at a time. Let's see how that'll work. Okay. Now I'm going to go in with my brush. And I want to make sure, because I'm going to go stamp in the Versamark. I want to make sure that I clean out on the inside where I'm going to go stamp over with the Merry Christmas. Because I don't want the grit getting back into my Versamark ink pad. Now I'm going to bring my ink pad back, Versamark. Again, I'm just priming. These stamps have not been used, so I'm priming my stamps. Make sure that it's inked up very, very well. And I'm going to stamp Merry. Oops. Perfect. Where's my Christmas? Go. Your comment over on commenting on the video over on Facebook. I'm not seeing what you're saying. Oh no. Oh, this was upside down. Ask me how I know. Because there's obviously one side that's bigger than the next. Hey. No biggies. We are just gonna turn it over. Do it again. That's how you know sometimes. There is a right way and a wrong way. One of the banner pieces is longer than the other. So you can see this one is longer than this one. So Christmas wouldn't fit on this one. So you just have to be very cognizant of that when you're laying your sentiment out. That's okay though. There's two sides to every paper. And we're just going to take advantage of that. That's all. This is just, card making is one of those things that you really just, you gotta sometimes just go for it and not be afraid to quote unquote make a mistake. One, mistakes are what you learn from. Okay. I'm gonna try to do the same thing. Put this back in there. Oops. All right, now I'm gonna make sure that we have it correct this time, right? So I'm gonna make sure I stamp the Christmas first, because if you stamp that first, then you can't be wrong, right? So as we can see, that perfectly fits right there. So we're gonna go ahead and stamp that. Perfect. And we're going to come right back in with our Mary. And I am inking this up out off screen, you guys, so you may not be able to see it. Okay. Perfect. Now we're going to go right back in with our embossing powder again. Here we go. Perfect. All right, so now we're going to put the excess back in the jar. That to the side. Okay. Cover our embossing powder, embossing ink. Grab our little vacuum. Oops, why aren't you charging? Uh-oh. Why did my vacuum not charge? I thought it was charging. Uh-oh. We'll see if we can get it to get a little juice. And before the end of the night, we'll go ahead and we'll clean this up. But anyway, grab the heat tool, let it warm up. Let the magic happen. The magic has happened. Look at that, y'all. Okay. Now we're going to go right in, add the get the die so we can go ahead and cut it out. Now, this is fairly easy to fussy cut. So if you don't have the die, but you have the stamp set, you could easily fussy cut this banner. But if you have the die, not sure why you would not have gotten the stamp set. But it is what it is, or the stamp set, you should have gotten the dies because you save 10%, right? All right, so let's go ahead and get this die cut and we'll be right back. I'm gonna bring in my trusty little Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. So that's what we're gonna use to die cut our image. The beauty of the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine is that you really don't have to do too much thinking. It's plate 1, plate 2, the paper and die that needs to be cut. I'm going to put a little piece of washi tape on here. To secure this. And then go. And we're going to secure that end. we're just gonna die cut it. The camera shakes, I do apologize. There we go. And we have die cut our sentiment out in our banner. There we go. Now I really wouldn't throw this out. There's lots you could do with that. I wouldn't throw it out. I would probably save it as a template that I could use later on. So I really wouldn't throw that out. The last thing we're going to need is some ribbon. All right. So let's put this away. Again, I like to put, I'm starting to appreciate the benefits of putting things away to prevent loss. Because if I could lose it, I would lose it. All righty. Almost done with this card, you guys. Almost done. Let's put this back away here. Now remember, with this die, the side does matter, so be very cognizant of that when you're using it. And then I'm going to put this back. I do that just so, again, I know where things go. Alrighty. I think that's how that goes. Let's put this back. I had my first prefix visit today, so I was excited about that. Prefix is a company. They partnered with my bank, and my bank is having a beta testing program. But what Prefix is a company of quote unquote licensed bonded handyman. Because finding a handyman, oh my gosh, it is ridiculously hard. Finding a good one is ridiculously hard. And so this is it's almost like a service contract. What they do is you'll have like a manager, a property manager, and that person is responsible that he or she becomes your go-to guy. So anyway, they came out for their initial assessment today. I can see where I did all of the full strengths here. I should have done some more full strengths, but it's okay. It's all good. All right, so now I'm going to trim this down. Let's see. This was 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I think I want to just trim it down. Maybe I'm just going to trim it 1/4 inch. So maybe 1/8 of an inch. Nope, I'm going to trim it down a full. So it's going to be eventually 4 by 5 1/4. This is a cute little strip. Maybe I can do something with that. Right, and then I need to trim. This doesn't give me what I'm looking for, so I got to go find me a trim to 5 1/4. All right. So trim just a 4 by 5 1/4. Now what we're going to do is we are going to go in with a little bit of ribbon. And we're just gonna do a little fancy Z-fold thing going on here. Some people make this look so easy. Like that. And we're gonna go back again. So, and I do that just to kind of measure out the amount that I'm gonna need. And then might have a little excess, but that's okay. All right. I don't think I've ever figured out the easiest way to do this, whether it's just tear and tape or glue dots. I think glue dots will probably be the easiest way to go with getting these to lay down properly. So I'm gonna put my glue dots where I want my ribbon to be, and then lay the ribbon down. So first it's gonna be here, right? But I want him to be there. Oops, that's too much. Sorry, we can always trim that out. And we're gonna put one about right here. And we're gonna put one right about there. I think that's the way I figured out that I could do it. And make it look somewhat okay is to use a glue dot method, you know? So let's put this about right here. And then this guy, make sure he crosses over there like so. Perfect. Then we're gonna come back in with another. Sometimes the embellishments takes the longest time. It does. Especially if you're trying to do like I am and trying to make it look perfect, right? And I'm not too concerned with what's going on in the middle. Why? Because it's going to be covered up. Right? So more glue dots. I have the glue dot container. This is the Stampin' Up glue dots, but I don't like having to go back and forth to the box. I like having this little container. Okay. Just gonna trim this off. Now's the time to, if you need to, tack down if you need to tack down. And I'm not worried about it because guess what? This guy is going to go right here on some dimensionals. So just, that's all we're looking for. Okay, let's get our dimensionals here. Leave a comment if you know how many dimensionals I'm going to be using to finish this off. Oh, I gotta sneeze. Excuse me. It's actually 9. So 9 was the final count for the number of dimensionals I used on this. I know I use a lot, but it's okay. Now let's take them off. Okay. Perfect. Now we're just going to lay this on our card base or our image focal point and make sure everything is the way we want it, because once it's tacked down, it's tacked down. And the blue dot came up over there. All right. So here we go. There we go. Okay. If you need to go back in with another glue dot, by all means, go back in with some more glue dots. Okay. Now we're going to come on in with our card base. And you would think that because I use dimensionals on the sentiment, that I would not use any more dimensionals. You would not be correct. Actually, you would kind of be correct, because I'm not going to use dimensionals. I am, however, going to use the foam adhesive sheets. But I had some cut up here already. Some pieces. But I don't. Okay, no problem. Yes, I do. Here they are. It says there. Some pieces there. Make use of what you have. So I'm going to put let's do this. Trying to be efficient with products. I'm going to do some here. Do some here on the other side. This one right through the middle. Right through the middle, like so. Stampin' Sip class is tomorrow. I'm excited. For once in a very long time, I am ready. I have had my card kits ready. So I am, oops, let's make sure we trim this guy a little bit. I've had my kits put together for class. Everything is ready. So all I gotta do is get up in the morning, head on out. Boom. Okay. Okay, so the last thing we're going to do to finish this card off is I'm going to go in, because y'all know I have to have a little bling. And these are the red rhinestone jewels. And I'm just going to go right and add a couple of them somewhere to add a little sparkle and a little shine. Oops. Where did it go? Right there it went. And I'm not necessarily putting them on the flower. Why I decided not to, I don't know, but I didn't. And so there you have it. Now, if you wanted to, you could fill these in because there is an image. I believe that's what this one does. This actually fills, well, let's see. All right. I've used this one, so let's see if this would fill. Yeah, I think this one. Nope. I'm gonna have to figure what this one is. Nope, this is pine cones and stuff, so this is more filler. So this doesn't fill the center of the images at all, okay? Let's put this back. You see, I almost forgot this little leaf. He would have stayed out there and I'd have been, well, what stamp set does that go to again? I don't know. Okay, all right. And then last is we're gonna trim it off a little bit around our corners, and then add this to the inside of the card, and we will be done with our cased card. I'll trim it down to 4. And maybe a little bit less than 5 1/4 because I'm not measuring. And then I'm gonna go in with my very best trio punch. Let me make sure. I don't know what this fancy one looks like or how it's gonna play out on my card. So let me play with it first. Okay, so that's what I'm gonna do on the inside of my card. Sorry for the shaking. I'm not standing, so I'm having to exert the force from a seated position, and so it's a little bit more challenging for me that way. Sorry about that. And now I'm gonna bring this back in here. Add a little bit of liquid glue, and then our card will be finished. It's on the inside, and then you have a nice little decorative inside. All right, so there we go. So what I did with this one, I changed out the ribbon, as you can see. Oh, and wait a minute, looks like, oh, there was a little bit of vellum under there. Oh, I missed that. Okay, I missed a couple of things, but that's okay. This is my version, and this is what I got. This is a perfect Christmas card for you to go ahead and send out. And I know it took a long time because I was talking and I didn't have everything together, but you should be able to put this card together really quickly and knock out a whole bunch of them if it's something that you like, that you can use for the holiday. All right, so I'm going to reset for a little bit, grab me a little bit of water, and then we're going to get started on, and I think we might only have the opportunity to make one, so I'm going to show you how to cut your paper, and then from there, you'll know what to do. Okay, I will link the measurements to this, to the project, everything that I done tonight. I will link them so you will have them for use. All righty. So for the next quick cards, it's a primarily designer series paper focused. So there's really not, I don't want to say there's not a lot, but it's still beautiful. And I find sometimes simple is more beautiful than difficult cards. Okay, now this card is inspired by Sharon Armstrong. She created this card, and I liked it, and I decided I would share it with you. And I'm going to be using cardstock from the Lights Aglow bundle or gift pack or set to create this card. So let me tell you what you are going to need. You are going to need some designer series paper, and you really should be able to make 2 cards out of this. All right, 2 cards out of this one piece of designer series paper. So you're going to need a piece of cardstock that is 4 1/4 by 11. You're going to score that at 5 1/2. Of course, you're going to need your designer series paper that is 6 by 6. You are going to need a piece of coordinating, something to use as a mat layer, and I think I might use crumb cake. Actually, not even a might. I will use crumb cake to finish this card, and I did not bring any over outside of that little piece. So let me go grab a little piece of crumb cake, and we'll be back. So I trimmed this piece of crumb cake to 4 1/4 by, 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. That's what I did. And again, mostly with pieces that I use for inspiration. I don't always go exactly as whoever I'm casing intends for it to be. All right. So for your first, you're going to take this piece of designer series paper and you're going to cut it to 4 by 5. Now your card is going to open landscape. So it's going to open this way. So how you cut your card, if you have a directional piece of paper, it matters. Okay, so because it's going to open this way, I need this print to be that way. Make sense? Perfect. So now we're going to cut this to 4 by 5. So we want the 5 to be this way and the 4 to be that way. Okay. Now remember, because this doesn't go out, so this is a 6-inch piece. So if I want this to be 5, all I need to do is trim off 1 inch because it's already 6 inches. So that gives me a piece that is 4 by 5. Now you're going to take this 4 by 5 and you're going to cut 1 inch off. Why didn't you just tell me to do it in the first place? Because you need to do it differently. Oh, I want it to come. I don't think it matters, but I want that part to be 1 inch. Make sure I have the tops of my tree. All right. So all we're gonna do at this point, just put this away, is we are going to layer our cardstock. Oh, that's because I'm like, why is it so big? It's because I did the 1/8 bigger. So I'm gonna just trim this down to 4 by 5 1/4. Okay. Sometimes that little bit means a lot. If that makes any sense. A little bit means a lot. All right. So now we're just going to go ahead. We're going to flip this guy. Put one that way and one that way. A fair amount of space around. Apparently, we got to go close to the edge. So there's not going to be that big of a border. Okay. And then go in and add this guy. I'm gonna overlap it just because I guess my cuts was off a little bit somewhere, but that's okay. Because all I'm gonna do right now is take a little piece of that ribbon and put it right across the seam, and you won't know any difference, right? So in this one, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna lay some score tape right across the seam because I know that that's exactly where I want my ribbon to be. Wrap it in the back. And I'm going to burnish it like so. So I want that glue to transfer off when I take it off. Now we are just going to line up our ribbon. Over our cardstock. And there we go. All right. Now the next thing we're going to do is we are just going to adhere this guy right to this. And I use Cherry Cobbler is my card base. Again, Crumb Cake is my matte layer. And I use the designer paper from the Lights Aglow set designer series pack. All righty. Now, you know me again. What is it that I'm looking for? Gotta be popped up, y'all. I need a little bit of adhesive foam sheet. Trim off a little bit. And again, I don't measure it. I just kind of eyeball when I'm cutting the foam sheet. Like so. And I'm going to make sure that I cover the ribbon ends. That way there's no chance of it coming loose. Okay, so that's done. Now I'm just going to put this on the base, like so. Then the last thing is to add our sentiment, and then this card will be done. Okay, so now bring in a piece of basic white. And I think for this one, I'm gonna pull out, I'll pull out a lot of my sentiment. Do I have any birthdays in December? I think so. There's that. Let's go to greetings. This is in your words, and I pulled out a lot of them to include stuff that's retired. Okay, I think I'm just gonna do the birthday one. Okay. So let me grab the birthday sentiment out of here. And this is the first time I'm using this set, so pardon moi. I think this is it right here. Happy birthday. Seems to me about this time every night I get the sniffles. Somebody joined me. Who joined me today? Somebody's watching. Thank you for joining me. All righty, almost done. So let's get this sentiment stamped out, and then we can almost be done with this card. I know I had cut a piece, but I don't know where it went to, but it's okay. That's why you grab more pieces of paper. Now I want to do this in black, maybe. Ooh. Black or red sentiment? I don't know. I think I'm gonna let me do this one with the black and then you see why I typically do not stamp sentiments directly on my card on my finished projects because that would have been a mess. But that's precisely why I don't do that. That was upside down and I did not even know that it was upside down. We're gonna break out our heat tool one more time. That's a lot of mess right there. Again, I tend to triple emboss minimally. You just get such a different texture when you do it that way. That was all the mess I just made. Yeah. I'm gonna try to sweep as much of it. This is why you should have your tray, your copy paper, your coffee filter, whatever it is you're using to catch your excess or your messes when it comes to your embossing. Alrighty. Now the last thing is we're gonna trim this down. I'm gonna trim it down, bring our little trusty little trimmer back in here. I'm gonna leave the top layer and we're just gonna cut this at I think 1.5, 1.25. So this is 1.25. Trim the top down just a tad. All right. I'm going to round my corners. Oh no, this looks, something looks off with this. Something looks off with my piece. It's a little off. That's much better. I'm going to measure this only because I'm going to mat it and I need to know what my mat size needs to be. So this is 4 1/8. So it's like 1 1/8 by 4 1/8. So that's what I'm going to go with, right? So it's too big. That's too, mat it with some black. So it was 1 1/8 by 4 1/8, and we're gonna add a little, maybe an 1/8 of an inch border. So 1 1/4, 1 1/4. The reason it's important to make sure that our measurements are right is because I'm going to, maybe I'm not, unless I do it once it's done already. Okay. So lastly, let's add a little bit of blue on here. So I hope you saw how easy it is to create a card, and I'll do a live tomorrow to show you the second half. I just didn't want to keep you guys too late tonight. So we're gonna mat that like so. And put some dimensionals on here. I tell you, the more I touch things, the more I lose them. I know I just had a set of dimensionals out. I don't know where they went. And that's the entire reason why I try to make sure that I'm putting things away. Oh, we're almost done on this one. As I use them back where they need to be, so that I don't have such a challenging time trying to find it again. All right. It'll show up. Oh, but duh. We're just going to use this guy right here. What I love about Stampin' Up! Designer paper is that they are just so beautiful that you can literally just use them to create your card. I mean, you don't need to go through a lot of fuss. Just let the paper speak for itself. And that's what tonight's project was all about, is showing you that you don't, yeah, I am a demonstrator and I do want you to buy my stuff, but guess what? You can make beautiful cards as is without, well, you got to need a sentiment stamp. So without buying a whole lot of fancy stuff. All right. That was the purpose of that presentation today. So there we go. I'm going to put this guy right here. Try to center it up. Okay. Now we got somebody that have Christmas birthdays or New Year's birthdays. So you can change this out if the birthday's in the summer for some summer fun paper. You can create your own DSP if that's what you wanted to do. So here we have this card is done, you guys. I want to add bling. I'm not sure what bling I want to add, so I'm not going to do it right now, but I always have to add bling to something. So I'm not sure yet, but when I post this picture tomorrow, you will see some bling on here. So that's it for us tonight, you guys. I've taken up a little bit over an hour of your time. Thank you for joining me tonight. We did Case the Caddy, and we created this item featuring the vintage Christmas stamp set. And then we created this simple card using the Lights Aglow DSP and the Go To Greetings stamp set for the sentiment. I hope you enjoyed tonight. Please like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And again, thank you guys for joining me tonight. Again, I am Caron Bailey, your independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up. If you don't have a demonstrator and you would like to receive one of our catalogs, or you would like someone to follow someone on your journey, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I would love to have you as one of my VIP customers. Thank you guys, and you all have a great Stamp Happy evening.